So today is Saturday, June 15th, and I have just arrived at another Airbnb. So at the last place that I was at, I checked this morning on the Airbnb thing to see when I needed to check out, and it turned out I needed to check out this morning, and so I wanted to extend my stay, and I couldn't extend it because someone had rented it apparently from Saturday to Sunday or something like that. That's what it showed me on the thing. So then I had to really try to find something very quickly that I liked that was in the center because I wasn't happy with where I was at before. Like, I liked the place, I just didn't like the fact that it took me like 45 minutes just to get into the center and find some place to eat every time I came into town. Because it would take me like 10 to 12 minutes to walk to the bus stop and then 10 to 15 minutes to take the bus from where I was at to the center, and then another 10 to 15 minutes to walk to the place that I was going to eat. So it was about 40-45 minutes of my day just to get somewhere to eat because it was kind of like out there. And so I decided to try to find something in the center that I liked, and there were things that I liked, but they weren't available during the dates that I wanted. And so I just arrived at this one place that I was like, okay, this is good enough, close enough, this is where I'm going to stay. So here I am at this new place. I'm going to show you what it looks like quickly before I take all my stuff out and make a hot mess of it. I'm going to stay in Playa del Carmen a few more days just because I really don't like the hassle of going from Airbnb to Airbnb, and much less don't want to deal with the hassle of going from one city to the next. I think moving around so much, especially when you're traveling alone and you have like quite a handful of things, like in my case I have 2 small suitcases and a book bag and now a bag of stuff, so it's a lot of stuff and I don't want to deal with moving right now. So I'm going to stay in Playa for a few more days before I go on to my next location, which is Tulum, and I'm just going to take it easy and ground myself here. So let me show you this Airbnb. And before I forget, this is the entrance of this Airbnb here in Playa del Carmen. This is the bed. It's a king-size bed. My stuff is all thrown on there. There's a TV, there's my suitcases, there is a little counter and a little kitchenette thing, and a little closet area. That's like an ironing board and a bathroom. My bathroom at the last place was a lot nicer. Oh, and they have free water here. And that's basically it. So fun thing is, like I said, there are no taxi apps that are used here in Playa del Carmen. In Cancun, you can use Easy Taxi, which is also known as CABIFY now. So you can use that to call a taxi in Cancun, but in Playa del Carmen they don't have a taxi app. So I asked my Airbnb host person at the last place, like, hey, do you have a number for a taxi I can call to take all this stuff? Because I didn't want to walk out all the way to the main street and then stand there outside on the street waiting to find a taxi and then hopefully getting a good rate and all this other stuff. So anyway, he gave me this number, and I tried calling and they wouldn't pick up, and then I decided to Google taxis and stuff, and I found out through Google that there is like a WhatsApp group for the taxi people here in Playa del Carmen. And so I tried calling that number, and it turned out it was the same number that my Airbnb host had given me, and it's like a WhatsApp group. So then I was like, maybe they're not picking up because it's a WhatsApp group and I'm supposed to send a message. So that's what I did. I messaged the WhatsApp people and was like, hey, I need a taxi from this place to this place. This is the reference of where I'm at. This is the reference of where I'm going. I need the taxi at this time. Can you guys help me? And they were like, yes. 1 second, and then the person told me, yes, taxi number, the taxi will be assigned to you like about 15 minutes before the time you need it. Here is the, and then he basically told me, or she, I don't know who it was, but they were like, just be mindful of your phone about 15 minutes before the time you need to leave so that you can get our message. So around that time, they messaged me and they let me know what taxi number of the taxi I was going to take was. And then they messaged me like 20 minutes later, which was past the time I wanted the taxi, but whatever, to let me know that the taxi was downstairs waiting for me. So I went downstairs, and they also let me know the rate because I asked for it. And the taxi that I was going to get from my last place to this place was going to charge me 65 pesos, which is cheaper than the first taxi that I took to get from the bus terminal to the place over there. Maybe it was a little bit further, I don't even know. But the point is that it was really cheap. And so the guy just charged me 65 pesos. He was nice. He, helped me with my bags and stuff. I gave him 70 pesos, and I was like, keep the change, dude. He was like, oh, thank you. And yeah, that was basically it. If you want the numbers to the WhatsApp taxi group here in Playa del Carmen, I will leave that down in the description below, so you can look at their Facebook and you can have both numbers or two numbers. I'll also drop the numbers there just directly, but I'll also drop the Facebook business page that I found it on. And what else? They worked for me. I saw on the Facebook page that some people didn't have some nice things to say about them, but they worked for me. They were pretty on time. It was super affordable and easy, and I got my taxi and I got where I needed to get to. So that's what you can do in Playa if you need a taxi, is you get to the WhatsApp taxi people, and then they will get you your taxi, hopefully. And that's basically it, what I wanted to share today that I discovered on my travels. And also, what I discovered on my travels is if you're vegan or you have like special food needs and stuff that you have to be very mindful of, try to stay close to the areas where you're going to be able to get your food. So before I came here, I already researched a little bit, a few restaurants and stuff, and I knew that there were lots of restaurants in the center, and I thought that my Airbnb, the first one that I was at, wasn't going to be that far away, wasn't going to be that much of a hassle, like as far as distance goes, to get from there to the food. But it did turn out to be a bit of a hassle. Like it was like an hour and a half of my day just to go to eat and come back to my place. And basically it would take like 2.5 to 3 hours just to go out to lunch, which for me, like if you're working while you're traveling, like that's a huge chunk of your day. I can't do that. Like I can spend an hour, hour and a half at the most, not 3 damn hours to go out to eat. So if you kind of have the same kind of lifestyle, or this is of concern for you as well, I really suggest that you find a place near the places where you can eat, which is usually around the center of town, because that has the most variety and options. And just because of all the traveling, and I've been feeling a bit sick and everything, I haven't wanted to cook in any of the places that I've been staying at, even though like I do have kitchenettes and stuff. I just haven't really wanted to cook. I just go out to eat because it's simpler. But it turned out to be a little bit more complicated these last few days with being so far out. So that's something that I wanted to share. A learning lesson for me: always stick to the center or where the food is, and make it easy so you can just walk a few blocks and get there and eat and come back and then move about your day. So thank you so much for listening to me. I really hope that you found this helpful. And again, any relevant links to this Airbnb or the taxis or whatever else I'm doing, always check the description below. And that's basically it. So I'm gonna go out to eat because it's really late now and I need food. And yeah, I'm gonna go out to eat. Oh, also, I wanted to say, in my last Airbnb, if you like the last place, they were so kind. I couldn't check into this place until 3 p.m. and check out at the other place was at 11 a.m. So checkout is usually 11 a.m. and check-in is usually 2 or 3 p.m. And I was like, what do I do? Like, I'm not going to be standing outside in that heat with all my bags. So anyway, long story short, I couldn't check in necessarily earlier in this new place. They said I could drop my bags, but my last host, I explained the situation and they were so kind. Chris was a person who was like messaging me on WhatsApp, and Chris was so nice and he was like, no, it's okay, you can stay till 3 p.m. if you'd like. And I was like, oh my god, thank you so much, Chris. So Chris let me stay past 2 at the last place, and that really helped me out a lot, because then I just took the taxi and I came here and I didn't have to stand outside in the sun. And I just love the fact that people are so nice to me and they love making my life so much easier. Like, this is the belief I have been drilling into my brain for the last year or so. People love being nice to me and making my life easy. And luckily I am finding all these people in my journey. So that's something really positive that I wanted to share about my last Airbnb is they had the availability to let me stay a little bit longer, and so they did, and I was able to transition from one place to the next smoothly. And so I'm so grateful for that. So grateful, because this heat, don't play, people. This heat has been making me sick. So, all right, now I'm gonna go find food. I found this falafel place that I found through Happy Cow. I'm vegan, and that's like how we find our food. Anyway, I walked past this place yesterday. It's like a shopping center. Behind me, it's like this light pink shopping center. And the falafel place is right in front of me. Hold on a second. There you go, Falafel Nesya. It's a really small place. Hey everyone, that's it for this video vlog. I really hope that you have enjoyed this video and that it has served you in some kind of way. I know that I really didn't do much in the video. It was mostly me talking and sharing my experiences and what I was learning and going through as I went through the process. And I feel like the real purpose of this video was really to kind of share my experience of learning how to navigate, like going from one Airbnb to the next. And like traveling and all this other stuff at the same time, because I've been traveling via Airbnb now for almost 5 or 6 months now. But back then it was a bit of a challenge for me to understand how to navigate, you know, checking out of one place and then traveling and then checking into the next place and having to kind of figure out like the math of like, okay, so I can check out at this place at this time, and then traveling from one city to the next takes this long, and then check-in at the next place is at this time, and so I have to like strategically pick like the best time to do, you know, check out and travel and check in and all this other stuff to be able to get into the next place. And so that was really interesting for me to learn how to navigate in the beginning of my journey, especially in this one location that I shared with you, which was Playa del Carmen, because I actually checked out of one Airbnb in that city into another Airbnb in the city closer to the center, because it was just the best place for me at the time. And also, like, early then, it was a bit stressful for me to have to constantly like check out of Airbnbs. It just felt like a lot of work, a lot of pressure, a lot of stuff going on, and I was like, oh my god, like I cannot constantly be on the move every few days. Like I need to be in a place maybe a little bit longer if I need to, just so that I feel grounded and I feel like I'm not scattered everywhere. And so that's what I did at Playa. And since then I've learned, like, if there's places where I feel called to only be there for maybe 3 or 4 days, I'm there for only 3 or 4 days. But if there's places where I feel like I need to be there for 2 weeks because I've been constantly on the move and I need to be in one place a little bit longer, so that I feel grounded and I feel like I'm not constantly like moving, then that's exactly what I'm going to do. So, you know, since I did this vlog, I've had a lot of experience with this whole travel thing, and I've learned what works for me, because, you know, location independent means different things to different people. I know people who are location independent who, for them, it means to be able to, you know, live in a country for as long as they want, and they live in one city for months, and that's all good and well. I'm not that kind of location independent person. For me, location independent means I get to, you know, go to a country when I feel like it and go to as many places within that country whenever I feel like it, and stay in each place however long I feel like it. And so for me, that means, you know, sometimes I will be in one city for, you know, a few days, and then I'll move on to the next, and then the next city I'll be there for a week, and then the next, you know, after that I'm in that next place for a few days, and then the next place for a few days, and so on and so forth. So I've just kind of learned to, you know, allow myself to stay wherever I need to stay forever, however long I want to stay, and however long feels good to me to stay, and learning to get the hang of, you know, being on the move so much. Because in the beginning, especially with this video vlog that I shared with all of you, it was a bit stressful for me to constantly move. But then as my journey unfolded, it became easier and easier and just more natural, and it didn't feel so stressful or overwhelming to me. So in case you're considering doing this kind of traveling like me, it might take you a little bit long, you know, a few weeks or so, maybe even a month, to kind of get the hang of things, of traveling so much or so frequently. But then you find the rhythm that works for you, and just honor yourself. And if you feel like you need to stay in one place longer than you anticipated, but you feel like you need that, by all means do that, because that's probably what you need in that moment. And also, I feel like the video was, you know, also to share some of the challenges that I had while, you know, being vegan in Mexico, and what I learned about, you know, navigating being vegan in Mexico is I really early on in the journey learned that I need to plan my stays, like my accommodations, so that they're close to the places that have food available for me. So in case you're vegan or vegetarian and you're traveling similarly to me, definitely make sure that before you book your accommodation, you go into Happy Cow, which is an app, or find, you know, Google or whatever, and look up the vegan or vegetarian restaurants in the city where you want to stay, and then try to find an accommodation that's close to those places, so that you can very easily find food if you actually need it, if you can't cook for yourself for whatever reason. So that's something that I learned really early on, and that's my advice for those of you that are veg. And what else? Also, last couple of things I wanted to say was that falafel place in Playa del Carmen that I shared was pretty good. I enjoyed it. Falafels in Lima are better, though, let me tell you. I'm sorry, but food in Lima is amazing. Nobody can freaking compare to food in Peru, okay? Food in Peru is the best. Okay, let me know in the comments below if you agree with this, because I've traveled not to a whole bunch of countries in my lifetime, you know, I think maybe like 15 or so, but still, like, nobody can compare to the food we have in Peru. I'm just saying. And so it was, you know, a pretty decent falafel place. I enjoyed it. I was grateful that they had, you know, decent food. And that other salsa place that I went to, it's a nice place. They have mostly Cuban music, though. It's not really my jam. I don't remember when I went, if it was a Friday or Saturday, whatever I said at the beginning of the video. But they have a live band, and they play mostly Cuban salsa. And people had told me that it's usually really packed, but when I went, there was hardly anyone really dancing, and I was like, what is going on here? Like, this is one of the salsa places here where things are popping, and nothing is popping here, and I came here to dance, and I, you know, had one little drunk man take me out to dance or something, and that was weird, but it was an okay place. Definitely check it out if you feel called to, if you like salsa. I personally was like, I don't think I would ever go there again. But, you know, it was okay. The food, honestly, I didn't really enjoy the food much there. As, you know, vegan, that was like my only option was nachos, and I had to have them veganize it for me, and they were really kind and gave me a whole bunch of guacamole and stuff, which they didn't really need to, but they were kind enough to replace that with like the cheese or whatever. And that was cool, but I didn't feel like the food really had much flavor to it, so I don't know, you know, I just wanted to put that out there because I like telling the truth. I don't like bad-mouthing people and stuff. I like promoting tourism, but I like speaking the truth, and this is what it is, and this is who I am. So that's all I have to say on that. So I really hope that this video has helped you. I know it's been mostly like a monologue, me just chatting, but whatever, you know, this is my channel, and this is how I do things. I talk a lot. So if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed what I had to share with you, please give this video a thumbs up, a like, wherever you're watching from. Definitely be sure to subscribe to my channel to get more of my videos, and I will be uploading them hopefully more regularly like I shared in my last video, because my boyfriend's helping me. And if you have any comments to share with me about what I shared with you in this video, or you have questions or things like that, definitely let me know in the comments below, and I will respond to you as soon as I can. I am right now in Colombia. I'm in San Agustin, Bogota. I'm staying at like a ranch, whatever you call a finca in English. Finca, ranch, I think that's what it is. And it's really nice here. It's really pretty. I'm sure one day soon you'll see videos of my time here in San Agustin. But for now, this is all you're seeing. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I send you all so much love. Thank you so much for your time. Have an amazing day. I will see you in the next video. And yeah, see you soon. Take care. Bye.